That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon, we can't ask Rashad questions.
We finishing up with some dark stuff, man. Diddy. Bum, bum, bum. I have transcripts of Cassie Ventura's testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Here's what she said about the $20 million settlement. Asked why she is testifying, she said, "I can't carry the shame, the guilt. I was guided to treat people like they're disposable." Is your lawsuit against Sean still pending? She said, no. What is the status of your lawsuit with Sean? She said, I agreed to settle 24 hours after. And how much should your lawsuit settle for? She said, $20 million. Do you have any other pending lawsuits against Sean? She said, I do not. Do you have any other pending lawsuits against anyone else relating to your relationship with Sean? She said, I do not. Without telling me any discussions with your lawyers, why are you testifying at this trial? She said, I can't carry this anymore. I can't carry the shame, the guilt, I was guided to treat people like they're disposable. It's what is right. It's what's wrong is wrong. And I'm here to do the right thing. And when you say you treated people like they're disposable, who are these people? She said, escorts, everybody, anybody. And she stares into the blank darkness. And the scene cuts blank, and we go to the next scene. Okay, next up. We're going to go to Lauren LaRosa, who had this video with an attorney. This is Cassie's attorney. Week 2 of Diddy's trial and day 1 of Cassie being cross-examined by Diddy's attorneys. Her attorney speaks out, and here it is.
You talked about her credibility, right? Yeah. I feel like yesterday made her seem, we empathized with her yesterday. Today, we're seeing that there may have been almost like a motive to her anger or her upset, which resulted in the lawsuit and now where we are today.
No, I mean, the facts, the text are the text.
With Kim.
The facts are the facts, the texts are the texts, and I think that the evidence will be clear as the case goes on and Cassie's testimony goes on, and we'll see what the jury does. I have to go. She's doing as best as she can. She's obviously, tired as you would expect, but she's holding up great. I mean, it's a real tribute to her.
How do you feel about how they're flipping the script with the prom?
I don't think they're flipping any script. It just seems they're reconfirming the direct.
Do you feel like today made Diddy and everything that we saw in that video, it gave it an excuse for it?
I'm sorry?
Everything that we saw on the video in Intercontinental, do you feel like today's testimony from Cassie gave an excuse when they kept talking about the withdrawals from the drug abuse, which she had spoken to?
No, I mean, look, I don't know that. I don't think there's a legal defense to this case based on his drug use, so I'm not really sure what that's all about.
Looked a little more excited today, though. Like they had a win today.
Oh, well, okay. Well, it's not really up to what Diddy's team thinks. It's not up to what I think. Actually, it's what the jury thinks. And
do you feel any shame at all?
So
I don't know what he's thinking.
Cassie, I saw Cassie touching her back and stretching and drinking lots of water. Do you think that the stress could possibly induce her to go in sooner?
I'm not a doctor. I'm just a lawyer. I have no idea. I hope
does she
not.
seem
That's
okay
for sure.
when you've been speaking to her?
She seems great to me. She seems great.
Any word on how her husband is currently feeling?
I mean, I said it yesterday. If you were in his shoes, I think, this is difficult for him to watch, but he's holding up great.
What about the whole Suge Knight thing? Her saying that Diddy and his friends went without her, and then they brought it back that she said she went with them. Can that be damning in a
I think that's just a minor point that unfortunately somebody got wrong when she was being interviewed. She didn't review those notes or anything like that. I think her testimony, the one thing about her testimony really is there's no credibility issues with her. The facts are the facts. She's telling them as they are, her truth, and they are what they are. This is not a typical cross-examination. There's no issues with her credibility.
What about the age gap?
All right. Next one. It's from Lauren again. We remember we reacted to Lauren yesterday, so this one is 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes. Shout out to Lauren.
Afternoon cross-examination. I'll just give you some highlights here, not everything. We saw the defense elicit testimony from Cassie where she admitted to being jealous of Kim Porter and Diddy's relationship. We saw an email from Cassie to Diddy where she basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, she wants to be more than a sexual fantasy to him. And she started this email off by saying, I know you think that you're Bruce Willis, but you're not, because he was on a vacation with Kim Porter and they weren't together at the time. They were with their kids. She was referencing Demi and Bruce. So we saw that. We saw some jealousy. We saw some jealousy also with Gina Hunn. And they didn't say her last name. I just know she's a fitness influencer, I think. And there's also been rumor that Gina is the lost victim or survivor that they haven't been able to get in touch with. Don't quote me on that. It's a rumor. It's not fact. We also saw something really interesting. We saw an exchange between Diddy and Cassie where he asks her, they're role playing during these freak offs, and I'm paraphrasing, but he essentially asks her if she's cool with everything, kind of making sure, like, are you comfortable with everything? Kind of like, tell me now if you're not. And she says she is. We also learned about Cassie's relationship with Michael B. Jordan in 2015 when she was in South Africa filming a movie. And they centered a lot of the afternoon around Cassie's drug use and how she hid a lot of her drug use from Diddy, so he wasn't aware of a lot of it. The defense would say, well, he was angry with you for doing so many drugs, and he was angry when you would do them with your friends. And then Cassie kind of shot back and she's like, no, he was angry because I did the drugs without him. And Cassie, by the way, she amazes me. I mean, she's 8.5 months pregnant. We've seen so many graphic text messages from her, so embarrassing and humiliating for the world to see. And she's just so calm, so poised, so collected. And again, it helps that the defense attorney is not badgering her. Nicole Estevea is not badgering her. Super patient. She lets Cassie kind of explain. And I mentioned that earlier. There were three things. I think 2 things maybe could be considered impeachment. Sorry, I can't talk. One was the fact that Cassie had testified that she saw Diddy hit her friend on the head with a wooden hanger, her friend Carrie Morgan. Well, it turns out Cassie was in the bathroom for this, she testified, and she didn't see it, but she heard it. And additionally, this ended Cassie and Carrie's friendship, and Carrie sued Diddy and Cassie actually paid her out in a settlement, taking some kind of culpability. And the defense was like, well, this is 2018. I thought you and Diddy weren't together. Why would this end your friendship if you guys weren't together and he did this? And then she sued both of you. So that was interesting. And then the whole balcony dangling thing, sorry, it's loud, with her friend Bana. Cassie said she saw this and she was sleeping, and she woke up. She testified during direct. Well, the defense pulled up a text message that Cassie sent to Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff, after this happened. And the text message said, and we didn't see it, this was not shown to us. And I think this was part of the argument about the discovery this morning, because a lot of people's names are mentioned, whatever. So we didn't see it. But it allegedly said, I just heard something crazy happened, meaning like she may not have seen it. Cassie said, I saw what I saw. She stuck with it, but it wasn't the best look, in my opinion. And then they pulled up a transcript from when she had told the government about the incident with the security guard D-Rock and Diddy going to see Suge Knight, packing up all those guns. And they're like, Ms. Ventura, did you or did you not say that you were in the car crying when they were when they were going to see Suge? Did you not tell the government that? And she's like, what? I don't think I said that. Like, I'm not sure. She read a transcript that we couldn't see. And she goes, oh, maybe there was a miscommunication. So I was like, oh, that's not great. But, whatever, fine. Again, we also heard about Diddy having an overdose in 2012, an opioid overdose after going to a party at the Playboy Mansion. And Cassie talked a lot about how they would try to detox. They would try, to do less drugs. They never made it to rehab together per se. They did do some kind of plant in Mexico. It was something illegal to help them detox. And she said it did work for some time, but then they got back into the whole, habits that they had, old habits with freak offs and whatnot. I'm looking at my notes just to make sure I didn't, again, really broad overview here. But yeah, they're setting the stage here, the foundation, I guess, the defense as well, just to say that, you know, Cassie was jealous. She was in love with him, and she wanted to make him happy. We heard that a lot. And again, really hammered away at her drug use. Let me see. Do you remember telling the prosecutors that you, yeah, sorry. I'm reading my notes. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Hey, yo.
Oh, okay. The last thing. I brought this up earlier where they are trying to put just some culpability on Diddy in the, or sorry, they're trying to say that Diddy was going through withdrawals through a lot of his violent episodes. And so we see some text messages towards the end of the day, 2 days before the Intercontinental Hotel incident, where Diddy is sick. And they're trying to say that, yeah, he's going through these withdrawal symptoms leading up to the fact that's why he was so angry at the hotel and blah, blah, blah. And that's why he beat you. I mean, yeah, that's not really an excuse. But yeah, but this is what's going on. Again, overall, from, you know, an outside perspective, the defense is doing their job. It's day 4. I think this is going to be a really long trial. I mean, a lot of people are saying that Cassie is the star witness here. I don't necessarily agree with that, because I don't think that Cassie is going to prove a lot of these federal charges. I mean, she talked about the escorts a lot. That's helpful, and them crossing state lines and getting paid to do these things in different cities. But I think she's just the foundational witness. I really do. I think that the most important witnesses are going to be the people that worked for Diddy. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, regardless, I sat in bed last night thinking about like how Diddy got to this place and how he really is just not a good person. And yeah, but we'll see what happens. Okay, that's my update for today. I'll give you one more tomorrow by the end of the week. I'm so glad the week is over.
All right.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.